show off. And before we start this show off, I am going to read the names of sponsors. And our sponsors include Nile Front Cottages. Nile Front Cottages is in Uganda. Ginger, actually. I've gone to Ginger at the start of the longest river in the world. And if that is the place where we find Nile Front Cottages, that is the best place for you to unwind. It's very therapeutic. If you're in Uganda, or if you want to go and spend the money that you have created in these 2-3 quarters, go and spend it there. Then we have Profiles International. Profiles International are experts. They are specialists in psychometric tests, emotional intelligence training, certifications, and etc., etc. If you want to be certified as an emotional intelligence trainer, coach, Profiles International are your experts. Then we have K2 Human Resource Services in Rwanda. If you come from Rwanda or in East Africa and you want to do consultant services, K2 Human Resource Services in Rwanda are your people. Then we have Steadfast Quality Solutions, the one for our friend Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake is a strengths coach. He has trained over 500 experts, C-suite people, to have those very important skills that are needed in the corporate world. If you are in Uganda, or rather if you are in East Africa and you want to discover your strengths, Steadfast Quality Solutions by Herbert Zake is the gentleman to see. Then we have insurance issues. We have AAR. They are saying that you are in control when you are with them. If you want insurance, AAR your people. Then we have Hotel Sapphire, where we are going to have our tea in Mombasa on the 26th from 5 onwards. The one for last year was so amazing. It went into the wee hours of the night. So prepare next month. If you're in Mombasa, you're in Kenya, please come and take coffee, tea, and we are going to have amazing discussions by various presenters. Then we have Tufa. I have been to this resort. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Oh my good Lord. If you are in Nanyuki and you want to enjoy life, you want to relax, they have a swimming pool that is warm. If you fear old swimming pools, Tufa Resort is decided that it should be warm. The swimming pool should be warm. If you love warm swimming pools and you love good food, that is the place to be in Nyanyuki. Esa Training. They are into good work, metal work. They make very beautiful beds and seats and all that. If you want to have the skills and the competence of a good work person or metal work person, Vanessa Training Institute is the place to go and train. It is the place to go and buy those very beautiful good work products and metalwork products. Then we have this Port Circle. Port Circle is meant for those people who love saving. It is for those people who love financial literacy, those people who save a lot. And they are saying they uplift people by the way they manage their savings and investments, etc., etc. If you want to save, Port Circle, and it has been there for quite a while. And then if you are a foodie, if you love food, like somebody who is here, and I know, if you are a foodie and you get into that famous town of Nanyuki, so Ted Kinyumbani is the place to go and sample some traditional food. So Ted Kinyumbani is in Nyanyuki. As you're getting into Nyanyuki, they have very good presentation in terms of how they give their very traditional, and their aesthetics are quite good. If you are in Nyanyuki, please get into Sotet Kinyumbani and enjoy the food that they offer. Then we have a webinar behind the sick notes. We have a webinar. I don't know why yes, it is moving. behind the sick note, what HR needs to know about work injury compensation. And we have Dr. Melanie Murgol. She will be giving us some thoughts around the sick note and what HR will need. In fact, HR and HR friends should be able to attend. It costs 2,800 buy goods. It is not eight, it is 9174897. It is 2,800. It will start from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. East African time. If it is UTC, it is from 300, and you shall be able to learn something to do with sick notes. Then, of course, we have the African Transformational Leadership Conference, Transforming Your Organization and Society, that will take place from the 1st of October to the 3rd of October 2025. It will be in Nairobi, Sarova, Africa, and it will cost you 50,000. Then, of course, I have mentioned the Pwani Edition T. Please save it. It is 26th September 2025 from 5 onwards. It will be at Hotel Sapphire, and we want you to come and enjoy, meet, network. And we have very good speakers lined up for you, and it will cost you only 2,000 shillings. And of course, the till number is 9174897. Then, of course, we have the Growth Grid Mentorship Program that costs 22,000. I'm sure the next cohort will, let me see, that one has already, of course, it's continuing. Those ones have already passed. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the events and the sponsors of our next, the present conversation that we are having. Tonight, we have Adolf Mushiri. Adolf Mushiri works with Zamara. He's going to introduce himself further, and he's going to tell us what is this retirement medical scheme. Actually, I have not heard of it, but we have Adolf Mushiri to demystify to us what is retirement medical scheme. With me is, of course, your favorite translator, Catherine Sidandi, and she is going to do an amazing job. As we welcome Adolf, we can appreciate Catherine as we transition into Adolf telling us what is this animal of retirement scheme. There is a quote that says, the moment you get employed, that is the moment you start preparing for your retirement. And one of the most important components of being in the work life is to plan for retirement. And wellness is one of the most important things that we should be able to prepare for. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, put your hands together for Adolf Mushiri. And because we cannot hear your hands, let us give him our best emojis so that we can learn and unpack this concept of retirement medical scheme. Welcome, Adolf.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much, everyone, for creating time for this meeting. My name is Adolf Mushiri, as Richard has put it. Thank you for Richard and team for convening this meeting. I think it's always very important for us to take a step back and ask ourselves, is the reward package that we work dearly, that we haggle in boardrooms, is it actually creating the value that we actually want to see for our staff members? Because at the end of the day, we are here because we would wish to propel our staff members towards a future of certainty and financial security. And that's what we do, and that's what I do personally. My name is Adolf Mushiri once again. I have a long track record in the retirement space, focusing on how best we can help employers optimize their reward structure so that individuals, the staff members, the employer himself and or herself is able to maximize the commercial value that they have in the marketplace in the best interest of everyone. And of course, create that lasting impact in the community through the reward package that we hold dear and we push through in our boardrooms and in every other meeting when we sit on behalf of our staff members. So I'm privileged when it comes to this specific topic because I have studied it for a very long period of time. And as we speak right now, I'm actually even pushing through a PhD thesis on healthcare economics just to ensure that we can understand the critical facets that support a healthcare system that will be, of course, like here in Kenya, they say, free for all, available anytime. So I work for Zamara, and Zamara has been there for in this employee benefits.
Jacinta, can you spotlight Adolf, please? We are only seeing
in the last 30
Catherine.
years or so. And we've been able to push through a lot of reforms on behalf of employers and, of course, for the benefit of their staff members. Gone are the days when you will have physical assets as a critical component of productivity for any organization. Things have changed. We are now embracing technology. And more importantly, the people behind it are the ones who are driving the change and the value that we want to see in our businesses. So we are very passionate here at Zamara to ensure we are doing this. We partner and we've been able to collaborate with thousands of employers across the sub-Saharan African region, starting here in Kenya, our homeland, all the way to our neighbors across the East African community, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, DRC, Congo, all the way to West Africa, to the Nigerians, and broadly speaking, across Africa. So we are here and we are grounded in Africa with one singular purpose, ensuring that you guys who drive the employee conversation in each and every one of your organizations have a partner you can trust, you have a partner you can depend upon to power prosperity in your organizations. So allow me to begin this presentation with a question for you. Do you believe that the reward package and the entire compensation structure that is there in your organization is able to deliver financial security for your staff members? I want you to pause and reflect upon that, because at the center of every conversation relating to benefits is people. And we need to drive this conversation towards them so that this creates the value that they would wish to see. So fortunate for us here at Zamara, given our 3 decades of partnering with institutions and organizations and businesses across all sectors of the economy, we've been able to see a few things that relate to the matter touching on retirement. Lo and behold, as Richard has said, the moment you walk in is the moment you're supposed to start preparing. And that's what we've been doing here at Zamara, helping young employees, helping the entire workforce prepare for that certain future, which is retirement. So the retirement journey for everyone across the world boils down to 3 critical components that makes them very comfortable, very successful when it comes to their retirement journey. One of them is the fact that when you are transitioning from employment, we are leaving the comfort that we are used to, the comfort that has assured us a monthly paycheck that comes at a specific time of the month, the comfort that is associated with critical benefits, such as a group life cover, a life insurance cover, a medical insurance cover, and so many other different covers. And for some employees in some sectors of the economy, it also means moving out from the comfort of knowing that you have a roof over your head. So throughout the 3 decades of our existence, we have interacted with more than 500,000 people who have embarked on this journey, and we've gathered useful insights, which I'm going to dive on today, so that we have a grounded conversation that is based on the realities in retirement. So let me share my screen. And Richard, confirm to me you can see the presentation.
It is loading. It is, yeah, it is there in that color. I don't know what color is that, but it is there.
I'll excuse you, Richard, because you're not from the fair agenda when it comes to
Yeah.
colors.
Okay.
So what have we found out from retirees when they're retiring? So the realities in retirement are such that the incomes that people receive during retirement do not go up beyond a specific threshold. From the studies that we've seen, less than 12% of individuals who retire earn an income or a monthly pension that is in excess of 50,000 shillings. And 50,000 shillings is 50,000 Kenya shillings, which is approximately $400 if you're to use the US dollar currency. So less than 12%. So it means a majority receive a monthly pension that does not go beyond $400 or so. Actually, what is more even startling is the fact that 55% receive a pension that is less than $200 or less than 20,000 shillings here in Kenya. And this is very striking. And I want you to take a step back and reflect upon the monthly cycle of your salary. The monthly cycle of your salary culminates in a piece of document they call the payslip that comes at the end of each and every month to confirm the amount of money that has been sent to your account. And when you look at that payslip, at the bottom is a line item we call net pay or the net salary. So for you to transition comfortably towards retirement, you need at least 70% of that line item so that you can maintain the kind of lifestyle you enjoy and you hold dear. So think about that. The next time you walk into this conversation, reflect upon that specific statistic, that you need 70% of that line item to have a comfortable life during retirement. But the statistics and the experience has shown that less than 12% of retirees enjoy a monthly pension that exceeds $400. And of course, the amount of money they receive as a monthly pension is a factor of how they've been contributing throughout their employment life. So something that has also been very apparent is the fact that people do not pay attention to their retirement conversation. They do not take a step back and ask themselves, am I contributing enough to provide an income in the future that will support my lifestyle? So more than 80% have actually confirmed that they have not been doing extra contributions towards their retirement account. And these extra contributions, first and foremost, enjoy a tax benefit when they're going in. And more importantly, they are able also to boost your retirement account so that the amount of money that you receive in the future is actually much larger. So that the chances of you crossing to the threshold above $400 or 50,000 Kenya shillings, as you've seen, are much higher. Just for your knowledge, a simple 1,000 shillings here in Kenya, put consistently over a period of 20 years, can actually enhance your retirement kitty by 1,000,000 shillings. And 1,000,000 shillings will entitle you to an income that is approximately 10,000 shillings, or roughly something just less than $100 each and every month by that singular action. So the call to action that we have as practitioners who look after this critical capital, which is human capital, is are we able to create a framework that can enable staff members put in more money into their retirement account so that they can be able to achieve financial security in old age. Then the other thing is we have also learned that when we put concerns or things that people lose sleep about in front of a retiree, they will actually rank healthcare as one of their biggest concern. And it goes back to the classic adage that sometimes we might find ourselves one paycheck, one emergency away from poverty. So this is very striking, because when you retire, remember, you've shed off all the benefits that are associated with your employment, those benefits that you've pushed through in the boardrooms on behalf of your staff members. So it is very important for us to recognize that this is one of the most singular important issues for us to address in the modern age of a retiree. And this is largely because a majority of them, close to 80%, have confirmed that they commit a significant portion of their retirement savings, that monthly income that I've said less than 12% actually, and more than $400 or 50,000 Kenya shillings. They commit a significant portion of that towards their medical needs on a regular basis. And it begs the question, that income, given the pressure that it has, is it sustainable enough to provide people the kind of comfort and the kind of things that they would want to enjoy during retirement? Of course, the experience has shown otherwise. Hence the reason why a lot of concerted effort has been put in place to see how best individuals, employers with retirement schemes can actually leverage on that retirement scheme to create a fund that can provide medical coverage during retirement. Here in Kenya, we received a beneficial tax change in the month of December 2024, which we call the tax deductible contribution that is made towards your medical needs in the future. So they introduced something in that format where if you decide to save towards your medical needs in the future, you can enjoy some beneficial tax treatment for that contribution. And what that means is essentially, you will not pay the full contribution. The taxman will also help you create that fund down the line. So this amount of money stands at around 15,000 Kenya shillings, or roughly $120 per month for the time this law exists. And it is then as a critical pillar to enable us put in money towards this specific endeavor, which is to have a medical cover during retirement. So if we look at post-retirement medical funds, we need to first reflect upon the journey of creating this post-retirement medical fund, because it's still an accumulation of savings that is done through your income, so that this income, these savings in the future are redeployed to provide you coverage for your medical needs in the future. So by having a beneficial tax structure, it means that individuals, when they decide to make contributions towards their post-retirement medical fund or their medical needs in the future, they will notice that for every shilling they put in, they enjoy some level of tax savings, as you can see from the chart before you. So we've used a hypothetical example of somebody who's earning 100,000 Kenya shillings, which is approximately $800 or so here in Kenya. So for this individual, each and every month prior to them making contributions towards their medical needs in the future, would pay close to 21,000 shillings in form of payroll tax or pay as you earn. This is approximately $160 or so. But when they decide to start making contributions towards their medical needs in the future, they will notice some alteration in the payroll tax. And if you look through this specific row that is labeled payee before relief. For each and every level of contribution, that payee amount, that payroll tax is actually dropping. And as it drops, the taxman is enabling us to create a fund that will take care of us in the future. So for a simple 3,000 shillings, the taxman is providing support to the level of 900 shillings. For a contribution of 5,000 shillings, again, you see the magic of the tax code unlocks 1,500 shillings or 1,500 shillings out of the 5,000 shillings you've committed to your retirement medical, your post-retirement medical fund. Additionally, if you do 10,000 shillings, which is just shy of $100, you'd find the taxman again does the magic. The tax code unlocks 3,000 shillings or $40 or so, sorry, or $25 or so in form of a tax saving. So you only pay the remaining $60 or so towards your post-retirement medical account. So this money, once it is derived from your payslip and pushed to the retirement account, it will sit in a specific sub-account they call the post-retirement medical account, which is different from your normal pension account. This money, of course, will be invested over time. And as the investment is done, it earns interest. And hence the reason why for this illustration of 3,000 shillings put over a 20-year period, the 3,000 shillings accumulates to 2.1 million shillings for all intensive purposes. If you do a contribution of 5,000 shillings again, over a period of 20 years, the amount of money saved in that post-retirement medical sub-account in your normal pension scheme actually becomes 3.6 million shillings. And this goes on as you make contributions towards this specific endeavor. So this amount of money in the future is what will provide the medical coverage that we truly hold dear. And remember, a significant portion of this amount of money in this sub-account has already enjoyed some preferential tax treatment, which means you've not even paid for them. The taxman has actually subsidized the creation of this post-retirement medical account. So once this fund has accumulated based on the years you have towards retirement, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 15 or 20, upon retirement or early retirement, you have the opportunity of now taking advantage of these savings. Taking advantage of these savings means you use them to procure coverage for yourself in form of a medical cover. So this medical cover can be customized based on your preference. It can cover yourself, your loved ones, and any other person you hold dear. In addition, you have the option of also deciding that the post-retirement medical accumulation, the savings accumulated in that fund, can be put aside, invested, earn a return, and this return is what will be used to offset the cost of your medical visits, your hospital visits to your preferred doctor, that doctor that knows you from inside out. So the costs that relate to that visit will be mapped to that drawdown account or that medical fund that is earning interest. And of course, that interest being earned will offset the costs that you're taking out from that fund. Alternatively, you can use these savings to purchase an annuity. And an annuity is a series of payments that is paid out throughout the life of the insured person. And this series of payments, which are at a frequency that you determine, but most commonly monthly, can be used to pay the premiums associated with a medical cover of your choice. So that is how this will work. You have a beneficial tax framework that enables us to create those savings in the post-retirement medical fund. And then these savings will now be accessible when you transition out of retirement. And that is more specifically when you attain the age of early or normal retirement. That is from age 50 onwards. So the biggest question at the back of the mind of a majority of people right now is, how much money do I need to have in this post-retirement medical account so that I can be able to say, I will get a cover that has this specific customization that will cover me throughout my retirement life. So I want you to take a pause and reflect whether you know the benefit structure of your medical scheme. What is the level of inpatient cover that you enjoy as an employee of your organization? What is the benefit limit that you enjoy under the outpatient? And what other associated benefits are mapped to your medical scheme currently? Because that is what ordinarily would inform the kind of cover you would want to have during retirement. So for an individual who would wish to have an inpatient cover of 1 million shillings, an outpatient cover that comes with an outpatient cover of around 70,000 shillings, the premium, the lump sum that they would need to create in that post-retirement medicals sub-fund is approximately 2 million shillings. And this 2 million shillings is what can be invested and provide the amount of money required to cover the premium costs associated with that insurance cover. You can also decide to take a cover that has an outpatient that has an outpatient limit of 200,000 and an inpatient limit of 5 million shillings. So what this essentially means is you need around 6.2 million shillings in your post-retirement medical account so that you can be able to rest easy knowing that this amount of money will be able to provide cover for the premiums required for that kind of a benefit. So as you've seen clearly, the most critical thing is to be aware of the kind of cover you want to have in the future. And ask yourself, can I be able to create the requisite savings that will be able to provide coverage, provide the coverage by paying out the premiums associated with that benefit? So if you're young and you want the benefit coverage of 2 million shillings out inpatient and 100,000 shillings outpatient. If you're age 20, you need to contribute 600 shillings every month till retirement so that you can create that 3.1 million shillings that is required to provide payments for your premiums for that desired level of cover. If I'm a little bit senior, let's say I'm aged 40, I would require for the same benefit of 2 million shillings inpatient, 100,000 shillings outpatient, I would require to fork out around 4,500 shillings per month till the time I retire. So that you have that 3.1 million shillings approximate value in your post-retirement medical fund, so that you can have adequate comfort that the premiums will be covered using the savings you have accumulated. Remember, the premiums that I've stated here are annualized, just for information. So that would be the annual premium that would be required for this specific benefit. So at Zamara, we have uniquely rolled out a benefits an insurance cover we call Zamara Afia that is eligible for anyone between ages 18 to 80. So you can join at any age in between, go through the screening process, and get coverage for life. You will not have a date or an age in which once you attain it, you're out of cover. You will continue with coverage so long as you've joined prior to the maximum age of 80 years. In addition, this solution, this medical insurance solution, has a panel of all types of medical facilities, from your tier 1 medical facilities all the way to your tier 3, tier 4 medical facilities. So wherever you would want to seek medical attention or to obtain some level of medical attention, you can walk in there. Of course, for the tier 1 medical facilities, you will pay a small copay fee, which is just in alignment with the broader practice in the insurance industry here in Kenya. In the event you visit a medical facility and you pay anything out of pocket, you can be assured you'll receive 100% reimbursement within 5 days of lodging or notifying us here at Zamara. In addition, this cover has some of the best waiting periods in the market. You only have to wait for 30 days to start taking advantage of your outpatient limit. Those limits that I mentioned, 70,000, 100,000, or 200,000, based on your preference. You also only have to wait for 6 months to enjoy the inpatient coverage. And for pre-existing conditions, specifically for cancer-related or carcinogenic diseases, you just only have to wait for 1 year for you to start utilizing the limit under the inpatient cover. So this solution has been carefully tailored to speak to all age groups, but more specifically those who are transitioning into retirement, because the cost of coverage is very low compared to those that exist in the market. And remember, the benefit structure is customizable based on what you prefer. And most of the time, what we've seen people lean on is what they were used to during employment. So you can customize it and enjoy the limits earmarked under each predetermined benefit structure. If it's 2 million shillings, you have an inpatient limit of 2 million shillings, a maternity cover of 150,000 shillings, and an outpatient cover of approximately 100,000 shillings. So this is something that we hold dear and we feel is important for HR practitioners to take account for those employees who are transitioning out of employment into retirement. because they need this coverage. And this coverage has been delivered through Zamara Afya at a cost-effective price for them. Over and above this specific fact is a fact that the savings under the post-retirement medical fund, those savings that I was mentioning, that you're trying to create through your payslip, can actually be cashed out at different instances. One of them is if you run into a medical emergency, just as per the invitation of this meeting, you've exhausted your savings. These savings under your post-retirement medical fund can be used to offer assistance to you in the event you've exhausted all savings, all forms of coverage when it comes to your medical needs. So this is very important for me and you to take account of. Because at the end of the day, when we retire, we would need to have some level of comfort that our medical needs will be taken care of by somebody else through a transfer of risk, which is a medical insurance product that I've mentioned, the Zamara Afya solution. So for those employers who do not have an existing pension arrangement, at Zamara we have the Zamara Fanaka Retirement Fund, a multi-employer fund that was established in 2005. It has a long track record of paying out benefits to members who've participated in this fund from different employers in different sectors of the economy. And it has an inbuilt post-retirement medical fund that enables you to create these savings that will provide you with the coverage that you need in your sunset years. Also, this fund is approved to receive a portion of the statutory Tier 2 contributions. So in the event you wish to take control of the increased NSSF contributions, you can actually partner with the Zamara Fanaka Retirement Fund. And the fund will enable you have complete oversight in relation to how the records are kept, how the investments are done, and certainty that the money will be paid out when the benefit falls due in the future for yourself and also the staff members in your organization. Finally, remember, if you participate in this fund, you are able to take advantage of the beneficial tax structure that includes even a tax-free benefit at the point when you retire. So with that, allow me to take a pause and return the program back to Mr. Richard, who will open the floor for questions from the audience. So thank you very much for your time.
You can exit. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, I am expecting to see 1,000 flowers for Adolf, as we normally do. If somebody has done something nice, we should clap, we should send emojis, we should send several things to uplift his spirit. This is an extremely important topic that he has been able to demystify. And thank you very much for those who have been able to send emojis. Thank you very much, Adolf. And the first question that has come into the chat is from Pauline. I don't know if she wants me to mention her name. If someone chooses an annuity and dies, let's say in 5 years after retirement, is the money left paid to the next of kin? Adolf, did you get the question?
Yes, Richard, I got the question. Sorry, I was on mute.
All right.
So that is a fair question from the attendee, in which it is important for us to ask ourselves that question. If I procure an annuity, if I pass on within a specific period of time, will this annuity continue with my next of kin. So unless you've prescribed that at the onset. So what do I mean? You need to tell your insurance company that you want to put a protection to this income. That in the event I pass on prior to a specific timeline, that these benefits will continue being paid out for a period of time. So that is what they call in insurance term, the guaranteed period. So you need to place in a guaranteed period. And at Zamara, we are very happy and to offer you support when it comes to determining the kind of customizations and protections you can put to this annuity or this series of monthly payments that you're going to receive in retirement so that you rest easy and enjoy your sunset years.
Oh, well, there is another question by Ngaira. I invest the 2 million and take the cover at retirement. How long will I enjoy the medical cover? Beji Ngaira has asked that question.
Ngaira, that's a very fair question. So that 2 million shillings is this lump sum that would expect accumulated in your post-retirement medical fund so that it can provide a series of payments. You'd think about the investment returns, providing an income that would be used to pay out your premiums associated with the benefit structure that has an outpatient limit of 70,000 shillings and an inpatient limit of 1 million shillings. So this is expected to provide coverage for a period of around 20 years or so in retirement.
Very good, very good, very good, Adolf. That is a very good response. There's another question by Christine. I don't know if I should say her age because ladies don't like their ages mentioned, but because she has written, I'm almost 60 years. How much should I contribute to have 2 million?
Thanks for that question. If I was to refer to the presentation we've just made, if you have around 10 years to retirement, you'd need to put in at least 10,300 shillings each and every month till age 60, so that you can have 2 million shillings accumulated in your post-retirement medical fund that will provide you a cover that has an outpatient limit of 70,000 shillings and an inpatient cover or inpatient limit of 1 million shillings. So this is something that is doable for anyone who has the conviction to create these savings in the post-retirement medical fund.
Thank you, Adolf. There are a question by Gloria Wesonga. How can a couple handle invest in the fund? Any package?
That's a very good question, and I love the fact that it is bringing together two different people, and something that maybe just off the cuff I should mention is another thing that we've realized in retirement is you need somebody you can actually have.
Adolf, you can remove your slides. There are people who could want to see your tie or something, so that they see how. Yes, thank you. Okay, very good.
So yeah, thanks. So something that I must mention off the cuff is the fact that we've discovered that in retirement, you also need companionship. So that's a very good question that you've posed. And for you individual, for you as a couple, you need to create this fund individually. You need to save as the husband individually, separate from the wife, so that ultimately, if you would want to procure a medical cover in the future, you can see how best you can negotiate a cover and have the savings provide the premiums required